Nantou Distillery Yushan Signature Sherry Cask, and Kavalan Sherry Oak. How are these? Which one's best? Stay tuned for the Whiskey Whistle. Hey, my whiskey people, Mark here at Whiskey Whistle on YouTube, sharing a little whiskey awesomeness from Winnipeg, the center of North America, bringing you a Taiwanese versus of two sherry drams. Here we have Nantou Distillery, their Yushan Signature Sherry Cask. And we have the Kavalan, I guess the most famous Taiwanese distillery, one of the most famous distilleries in Asia, and that is the Kavalan Sherry Oak, which is now called the Oloroso Sherry Oak. So very cool. Now, these are both 46% ABV, matured exclusively in sherry. Let's find out what you should be grabbing for your collection if you happen to be a sherry monster lover. Let's get these poured. All right, now this is my second crack at trying to complete this review. The first one, there was a weird audio crackling going on, and it bugged me so much that I knew that you would be bugged as well. So thank goodness I didn't finish that. And this sample, by the way, comes thanks to Nathan Samuelson. Hey Nathan, how are you? Hope you and your wife are doing well. One day I will see you somewhere, whether it's Korea or here in Canada or Europe or somewhere, we'll catch up. All right, that was so generous of him. I went over to his house and we had a nice little whiskey tasting with him and a bunch of friends, and that was round about 2 years ago. 2 years, maybe a couple months. All right, here we go. I think we're gonna go all in with this. Look at the color, you can see it's so syrupy coming out. Did you see that? So first of all, we'll look at the color of these two whiskeys. Then we'll have a look at the legs and see what they tell us. After that, we'll check with the nose, the palate, and the finish before we give each of them a Whiskey Whistle whiskey score, and we'll do this side by side. So first of all, the color. So here you can have a look at the color of these two whiskeys and what you see. And can you see how dark the Kavalan is versus how, well, let's call it honeyed, a honeyed, slightly sherried looking color of a whiskey. Big difference. And both of them, I believe, are natural in color, and boy, what a difference. This is absolutely cherry wood hue, and this one is, at best, a lightly polished oak. Okay, so let me get the legs done together as well. It's a little bit cold outside, so it'll probably be a little bit stunted, but I can definitely see that the Kavalan has showier legs. And the Yushan Signature from the Nantou Distillery, a little bit less so. Beautiful. And just recently I put up a review of the Kavalan Solist Vino Barrique, so you can check that out. And this isn't much lighter. What a dark hue that is. Okay, so first of all, we'll check out the noses, and I'm going to start with the Yushan Signature. All right, here we go. Well, it's got a nice sherried nose, absolutely. We've got some ginger in there. We do have some generic dried fruits, medium raisins, a little bit of pineapple, interestingly, some golden berry. Yeah, that's really interesting. The slightest bit of a rich vanilla, some dried orange slices, but yes, gingered, very lovely, very fruity, a mix of lighter colored and darker colored dried fruits. Well, I do like that, and if I were to put this in age ranking for, say, a single malt, I would say that smells like a 10 to 12-year-old Scotch single malt whiskey. Maybe 13. All right, so that was Yushan Signature. Now let's have a whiff of the Kavalan Sherry Oak, now called Oloroso Sherry Oak. Okay, so the nose for this guy. massive, dark, very dark, dark dried fruit nose. Chocolate nibs. Straight up cocoa. In fact, like a raspberry tinged cocoa nose. And I'm getting dark prunes. I'm getting the darkest of raisins. I'm getting dark fruit cake. And the chocolate. This is really gorgeous. And if I were to think of the age in the nose of this Kavalan, I would say this smells like it's 18 years old. It smells incredibly aged. This smells kind of like I remember Macallan 18 smelling way back when. I can tell it's going to be dry, but there are so many unique flavors in there and scents. The chocolate, the dark fruits, the fruit cake. And there is a European oakiness to this that you don't get in a lot of whiskeys these days. Nutmeg coming through. Beautiful. Well, I mean, to compare the two, they're incomparable. You can't compare. This is very, very good. This is very good, and I would buy this. It's $80 Canadian. Very reasonable. But this guy, I think it's about maybe 1.5 times the price, maybe 120, 130, and you're getting something that is just dark and brooding for a sherry monster. All right, so let's check out the palate then. Firstly, we'll try it neat, and then we'll try it with a little bit of water, so stay tuned for that. The palate really follows through the nose. It is very, very well made. A nice mix of, in fact, a lot of stone fruits here. Lots of peaches, which is delicious. A little bit of dried fruit. Lots of nice vanilla. If we're looking at sherry here, I believe that's a sherry seasoned American oak cask. The seasoning hasn't been too long, and you still have lots of the vibrant American oak to shine through. And again, this is really coming off like a 12, 13-year-old Speyside single malt. And the price is excellent. The price is just the same as any of those Speyside single malts. And you're getting something that's 46%, a little bit stronger than your Glenfiddich or your Glenlivet, and perhaps a little bit richer, a little bit fuller flavor than them as well. So don't get me wrong, this is very, very nice. Well, let's clear the palate. Now, I'm super excited about this. I will absolutely be getting a bottle of this in the next 12 months. A full bottle. Okay, so the palate for the Kavalan Sherry Oak. Again, raspberry chocolate, dark chocolate, raspberry dark chocolate, 70%, laced with a tiny little bit of raspberry in there. Rich dark raisins. big dried dark fruit note. There is a full-on vanilla pod in there. It is just so overpoweringly rich. There is a little bit of really fresh, unlit Cuban cigar. So when you have that new cigar in your mouth for the first time, you get that little bit of a that wrapper, that little bit of a flavor on your tongue. So I'm getting a little bit of this here, and that's, again, for me, that's really amazing. This is delicious. The finish is especially very raisiny, dried fruity, fresh prunes, pardon me. Delicious. One more taste. Now, have you opened any of the secrets in your whiskey collection to sort of get in the mood, the spirit of staying home alone all day, every day? What was it that I opened up? I opened up a special Nantou that you can only get in Korea 10 years ago. Boy, that was nice. 2010, 12-year-old, so it was distilled in about 1998. And I tell you, even since then, there's been some pretty stark changes in the wood management and how full and rich whiskey tastes, even at 12 years old. With water, let's check out that Yushan Signature Sherry Cask. The water brings out more vanilla on the palate, on the nose, pardon me. It really tones down some of the fruit. So I'm not sure if that's a really a step up, or if it's just a little bit of an experiment that you can try to see what you can get out of it. How about the palate? A little bit drier, still very stone fruity. Peaches and nectarines and apricots. A light bit of vanilla. Everything else has largely stayed the same. The nose for Kavalan Sherry Oak, pardon me. With water added, I get a little bit of Coca-Cola syrup. You know, if you go to like the bowling alley and they've got the soda machine there, and you get the carbonated water coming down one stream and the thick Coca-Cola syrup coming out another. And if you're ever able to try that yourself, you can actually move your cup so you can just get the syrup. I used to do that when I was a kid. So yeah, a bit of Coca-Cola syrup, still very raisiny. The palate with water, more dark chocolate, and more of this cigar note. Well, delicious. Even though I put in more water than I thought, I can still see that there's still room for more water to be added and further explorations for both of these, especially for the Kavalan, however. Well, I think you can get a sense of my preference here. I do like the Yushan Signature, and I would buy it again. Absolutely. It's nice. Now, I think it's almost a bit of a misnomer calling this a sherry cask. So I'm not sure what exactly it is with these casks, but they're really much more like, good old first fill ex-bourbon with a little bit of a seasoning of sherry, perhaps. So that's my thoughts on the cask. The Kavalan Sherry Oak, the Kavalan Sherry Oak, now called the Oloroso Sherry Oak, is absolutely a sherry monster in every regard. It's a beauty to look at. It smells just incredible. And best of all, the taste. Cheers, everyone. So complex, so rich. It's got everything you want in a big, bold sherry bomb. Beautiful. Well, let's get on to the WhiskyWhistle whiskey scores for these two fine whiskeys. First of all, Yushan Signature Sherry Cask. The WhiskyWhistle whiskey score, what's that going to be, folks? It's going to be 87 out of 100. You heard it, 87 out of 100 is the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for Yushan Signature Sherry Cask. Delicious stuff, very well made. Needs more sherry, I'll say. The thing you've been waiting for, the Kavalan Sherry Oak, now called the Oloroso Sherry Oak, the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score, what is that going to be? It's going to be 91 out of 100. You heard it, 91 out of 100 is the WhiskyWhistle whiskey score for this very delicious, very easy to get, not expensive, beautiful whiskey from Kavalan. I'm going to give your creation a nice malt hug here, and a little malt kiss. All right, well, hope you enjoyed that. Two very different whiskeys coming from the same country, and both delicious. Now, the Kavalan is certainly the one that I would say, if you're going to buy one, that's the one you're going to buy. If you can afford to get two, then you might want to get them both, because they really do different things. Both of these, I think, are very, very good and excellent. So, all right, well, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the link right over here and hit the bell, ding ding. That way you're notified of the future Whiskey Whistles coming through your email inbox or your notifications on your smart device. And why not join the Whiskey Whistle crew? Patreon.com/WhiskyWhistle. Support the channel and see how really cool things can start happening here with Whiskey Whistle. Take care, everybody. We'll see you for the next one. Bye now.